Welcome to our weekly New Global Media Talk Show. Today is March 10th, 2024. Today, we're going to be discussing about the drug issue in the Gambia, drug and drug trafficking, especially drugs like Kuz, commonly known as Jidabas. So we're also going to talk about unemployment, especially for the youths. So we have our guest here, Honorable Ibrahim Makalo, GDC um, GDC Head of Logistic Youth Wing. So, Mr. Makalo, welcome. And I have my co-host, Sam
Yes,
Tize. Sam, welcome. And I'm your host here, Mumudu Sawane in New York. So let's jump right into it. The drug issue in the Gambia is going wild and crazy. As we have seen, so many youths are, getting dosed on the street. Some would lean to the car, towards the car in the middle of a highway. I mean, people are screaming on the street. I mean, we've seen videos and we have seen a lot of things happening in our streets. I think Mr. Makalo dropped, right? Is he there? I cannot hear you, Sam.
Yep, there he is. He's back. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Makalo, you keep going. I mean, Honorable Makalo, you keep going back and forth. You are
We
on.
have
You are
network
on
problem
mute.
in the Gambia. Yes,
Is it the location or is it the internet company?
I try to move. I think it's the internet because I try to move again to another location to see. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So what we're saying that we're gonna jump into the we're gonna jump into the situation of the coups, which is the drugs, especially the coups. So this is the first topic that we're gonna be discussing. Can you hear me? Can you unmute and so that we can start on that. Yeah.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you, listener. Thank you,
And
Mr.
you can start with also
Sawane.
introducing yourself as well.
Hello. This is-
Oh man, his
And then I believe that the topic that you brought is something that is very, very important for us and the entire world. And then I'll bring my contribution, inshallah, on the best of my knowledge and my ability.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're welcome. I mean, like, you can go ahead, and Sam and I will be asking questions and also making comments.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? Like this drug issue. Since
Just, Buddy?
yeah, we're talking about the drug issue in the Gambia.
Okay. The push, as you say, there are a lot of drugs. Some say also Dinabas, many drugs they are available in the Gambia. But in my own perspective of view, is a collective responsibility for all of us Gambians, because this nation belongs to us. We have to start it from the village, at the village level, the world level, the consequence level, and then the regional level, and then it become a nationwide collective responsibility. How? Each Gambian have somebody in his family who use drugs. And then if we want to be honest with ourselves, the constitution have made it clear also, each Gambian is a police officer because you have to defend the country. We will not be sitting and seeing our country, taking a direction that is not proper in this century. So help the government people and the authority. Because the police alone cannot do it. The drug law enforcement cannot do it. It's a collective responsibility. Yeah. It's the only way that we can come together and make sure that that drug is eradicated in the Gambia. Even though it cannot be 100%, but maybe 95% of the drug will be out of Gambia. If we join hands together. Okay.
Okay. First of all, Honorable Makalo, we can I mean, we can agree and disagree. The issue of drugs in the Gambia. You are muted. You are muted. The issue of drugs in the Gambia is something that is new. I mean, I'm not saying that there was no drug in the Gambia prior to this government. The drugs started floating in the Gambia when we see that container full of drugs disappeared on our land since the beginning of this administration. So, you know, 10 years ago, I'm not saying that there was no drug in the Gambia, but the effect of the drugs today, we haven't seen that. And the effect of the drugs, that includes killing, that includes our young people dying, that includes people are getting slaughtered, murdered. All has to do with that. Also, people are committing suicide. So this is something new. We can disagree. We can agree and disagree as much as we can, but there's something going on somewhere, and we need to find the root cause. And I think that's why we are having this discussion today, and how this is destroying our people. So you are saying that it's collective responsibility. What power do you or Sam or I have in it?
Okay. In my own point of view, the power that you and Sam have is that starting from our house where we are living, if you see somebody or you suspect that somebody is using drugs, and then you know you are not an authority, but the constitution gives you the mandate also that each Gambian is a police officer. It also means that if you see somebody, because the government information should leave from the civilian to the government. We should inform them that this is happening. If we didn't inform them, they cannot take action. And then who is bringing the drugs? It's Gambians and non-Gambians who are bringing drugs in the Gambia. So it's our responsibility. If we want to eradicate the drugs in our country, we want to have a better nation, and having you that, we serve this nation properly is a collective responsibility, my brother. Drugs is bought in the Gambia by human being. Okay, that human being, how to know it? Somebody must be always there who knows you are in and you are out. Where you are living, you must live in somebody's house. Before giving your house to somebody, make sure that you know really where that person is working, where it's coming from, and where it belongs to. This is what I'm saying, that is a collective responsibility, because the government, yes, is the one that are mandated for all those stuff. But it's also our responsibility. It's also our responsibility. If you want to sit in there and pointing finger to someone, then we will not go far, because right now you are the one who are inviting me here. So what you are doing here, you are helping the nation too. You are helping because we are trying to enlighten people about something that is wrong. It's not the government who invites me here, it's you. So it's our responsibility, my brother. It's our responsibility. And then let us don't look as Kabadia Fasa or Kabadia Choki. We have to be honest between us and the God that we are serving, because tomorrow everybody will be accountable. If you see your brother working and then you talk to him one time, two times, take him to the government. And the government get somebody, let them prosecute the individual. Let them set us an example. And I think that from that, we'll go forward. As you say, yes, there are a lot of drugs, cocaine, who disappear here. People must be arrested. They were not prosecuted. Yes, I would agree with you. We have to set an example. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let me let Sam come, because I think at some point I can agree, but I still think that the elephant in the room, we are still not really going to towards that elephant. But let Sam come in, and I'll come back. Sam, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. McCollum. Thank you, and thanks, Mr. Suwani, for sure. The issue of drugs is worldwide. Any country you go to in this Western world, especially, there are drugs all over the place. The question is, what are we doing to address the situation so that it doesn't go out of control, or it doesn't kill all of our, or a lot of our youth? what can the government do? So there are certain aspects that to look at. One is, I don't believe in having the same leader forever, the same people in the same position for a very long time. We need to start by looking at two areas: the Drug Enforcement Agency and the government, right? These two, very important to look at. We need to ask ourselves, is the Drug Enforcement Agency really doing their job? If the answer is yes, they're doing their job, then we should say, then why is the government allowing things to happen while this Drug Enforcement Agency is doing their job, right? Well, now, if they are not doing their job, we should point fingers to them and at the same time raise our voice and tell the government, change these people, change those leaders. You cannot have the same leaders in there for forever, for 10, 15, 20 years or so. Get them change them, bring some change. That would change the dynamics as well once you change the leadership. So leadership we need to look at. We need to look at the government, because we know that government, being the ruling government, of course, also has some responsibilities. Their job is to enforce the law. There are laws in the Gambia. So the government need to enforce those laws to make sure that the people that are responsible for bringing drugs to the country are caught, arrested, and prosecuted, and according to the law. Those examples need to be set. But the government also need to do another job by really sensitizing people. We have our GRTS, right? What is the purpose of GRTS? I don't know what they do. I mean, I'm sure they do some things, of course, but the government should be able to use the GRTS and go out every week, have programs about drugs, the use of drugs, educate people, sensitize people, discourage people using drugs while they're fighting drugs from the port level. Because if you look at the root cause of drugs, I would say that most of the time, the drugs that enter the Gambia, they enter through the seaport, not the airport. Okay? Not the airport, because a lot of people, travelers that travel into the country with their luggage and all of that stuff, that pass through the airport, well, those luggages came from somewhere where they were scanned first. They were scanned, they went through the right process, they went through the right channels to get into the airplane in the first place. So by the time they get to Gambia, they've already been checked. Even though Gambia can do their little due diligence and check, they can come up with more technology and dogs, watch dogs and dogs that can sniff drugs in luggages and sniff every luggage that come through. They have multiple dogs at the airport. They can do that. And then anything that's suspicious, they should be able to ask them to open it and investigate and look and make sure that they verify that there's no drugs in there. Now, the seaport is the most difficult part, because you have containers coming into the country through the seaport. And a lot of those have stuff in there that we don't know. There are sometimes we've seen, like Sawana said earlier, there was a time a container was caught at the seaport with drugs in it. We've seen containers with guns in it. We've seen other stuff with a lot of drugs in them. Now the question is, where are those drugs? What happened to them? What did the government do? The government need to make sure they hold themselves accountable by taking responsibility for those drugs that were caught, follow up, prosecute those people that were responsible, but also destroy the drugs. After you get all your evidences and taking it to court, yes, you can hold it for evidence purpose for court. But once you prosecute and then a ruling has been done on them, those drugs should be publicly destroyed. They should have witnesses from all agencies, including the media, because the media represents people. Media need to be able to witness that and say, yes, 2 tons of cocaine came through, and we witnessed 2 tons of cocaine being destroyed by the government. The media need to be able to tell that to people by eyewitnessing it. When that happens, then we will know that the government is doing their part. But until that happens, people are going to question, where is the drug? Where are all those drugs? Where do they go? The government can say all they want to say. Yeah, we destroyed them. Well, who witnessed the destruction? How was the public informed that those were destroyed? So So there's a lot of responsibility here, and I think the root cause is we need to follow the root cause. The government has responsibility to do. Citizens can be citizens. We can all be citizens. We can all start from home. Everything can start from home. Like Makalo said, we start from home. But the vast majority of the drugs come through the seaport, which is before we worry about people using drugs, if we can just avoid drugs from coming into the country, nobody will have drugs. That's it. Then if you can just stop the drugs from coming, well, number one, the drug dealers are not going to have anything to sell. Number two, the ones that you want to use the drugs are not going to have any drugs to buy because there's nothing available. So the government need to do their job to stop the drug from entering the country in the first place by looking at the Drug Enforcement Agency and make changes there that will help us enforce our drug laws in the country. So I'll stop here for a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Sam, for that. Yeah, Mr. Makalo, Honorable Makalo, I will allow you to come in and respond to if there's anything that's mentioned that you want to respond to, or if you want me to go ahead and ask more questions. Yeah, you are muted. You are muted.
Yes, I agree with Sam. I agree with Sam. Yeah. But I just have another small. You see, we Gambian, we always like to say government. Since Jawara to Jami to Adama Barrow, we are always complaining. I think it's the right time for us to stop pointing fingers to somebody. I'm not supporting the government. I'm not saying that the government is 100% good. But I'm saying that the government is us. Let us take our responsibility. The container, who bring container in the Gambia? It's Gambians, it's foreigners. Where does container come from? The container don't leave Gambia to go to Europe. They come from Europe to enter Gambia. You see, so we have to help ourselves.
Right.
From all countries in the world and come to the Gambia. You understand? There's point I don't want to mention that because when I mention it, they will say that is maybe he want to help the government or he's supporting these people or this. No. I'm talking here as a citizen. It's true, I'm a GDC. Yeah, but I'm talking here as a citizen of the Gambia only. For the interest of me and my people. Okay. Let us try to help ourselves. It's our collective responsibility. I say it. If the drug enter Gambia, container already come. You go, you pay, you do a container to your house. The government will not come and say that let me open it to check whatever is there. When they are loading the container from abroad people already, when you bring it here, the government people have to try also to be the specialist law enforcement. I think they have to be in this system. Those people should be there where any container is left the port, take to the owner. The law enforcement should be there to check the container. That is another point of view I'm seeing, because whenever it come out, we don't know what is inside. The drug enter in the country. I see. When that drug enter, they say the government. Who brings it? It's not the government. The government don't bring drugs in the Gambia. It's not the government. It's people. It's to us and others. So now when we see somebody bringing something bad in our country, we have to report that individual. No, we don't have to take it. Or pointing the government. There are areas, if you go right now, people are smoking. They are smoking. And then it's not correct. That is that, my brother, please, let us, it's a collective responsibility. Starting from the village, from the world, from the consequences, from the region. We Gambians, is our responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Makalo, I'm glad you are even tapping this in local language because but I'm abukatano because of the fact that we are too used to speaking English. But if Mala and some can come to local language perhaps. So until Mantara government blame can alone. But for 10 years ago, 10 years ago, Banko Mantarate, and on drugs will be carrying. Mune be carrying, Munatina, Ntola will be fala, Nadindu will be ibe suicide commit la drokol be fala mo falbe siala banko kan mune falinta. I understand. The only falling make
Yes,
leadership falling wala keda in the last 7 years. Yeah, understand. And every leader another style them.
yes.
In as much as Jammeh, Molia accused Mo Farah and other things.
Ah,
Banko kan what time ni sifar man si aje. Isa
yeah,
time mo change tale isa ko Jamal Fono. So
ah,
them the promo fight la fongala asungolo. Our root cause. So I will come for the root cause. So sign the
yeah.
root cause nimbe wale analyze kan. Yes, yemen
Ah,
for control citizen soul. Ntol we are also responsible because the like watchdog, we can be a community policing. Yeah, understand it.
yeah.
Ngatara na dungol no mambe ela kuol kis lamba make sola. Ikana dunyin po kusi falcon. But it's sign. Mone kanyin samana banko kan. Wala mu court. Nalo namantara banko kan mota yusla. Adunota banko kan nyadi. Malil be nyaton kayala. Mu port nyolto. Ñun drug comme ça
But
ñami ñun drugs organization ulto dual be je ñaton kayala na lila sollem ya understand it. Inte fon ka moy molla iko ni mo arrest Gambia, right? Ni police oli mo arrest ye men arrest ñin criminal all thing. The next thing you see them on the street ike be tamala nka mol ñin ka how comes iko wol ni police ol fon be do ko wala wol ni police ol be do ko wala ni tare ni imen sunya ware men wafi drug la ya dundi police ol jifo kono police ol yebula because munam gambenol be batare ne bata meta gambenol kan gambenol man doku sodo na police ol man buka jokendo sodo na masakunda dokula man jokendo sodo so say munam foy corrupt momo na dimba balunya ika wala mira so walatina police ol ike duku the next thing ikamul bula men yalla ko crime so commit so nothing is working femantara tamaka bangoka miyalon ko ita safu ko ananta ka tamaka so funga na leaders will blame mafoko collectively into form of responsibility so of course ila kill ita Mr. ita honorable makalo ila dimbal you have a responsibility pour ka jiko ikana ñun to kolta pour ka jiko ikana do ñun criminal ko kono pour ka jiko ikana wandi mol fa ikana kolke but to the limit for fonko environment creator me ñi samana andu modol ba fala ko foreigners even foreigners will blame la ñaadi jumale le foreigners will invite them to the country and nim foreigner kana crimes will commit into here come on ke deport le that's the only option yes or no deport new foreigners will come what happens it can stop it. That's what the US is doing, that's what other nation is doing, that's what Germany is doing. So there's a solution, but Jumalel Benin Kenola, people in position of power. It didn't Kenola because we are not in that position. So the collective responsibility bejele, but I differently with the responsibility that those in power will need to do. It will fall be criminal coupon. Drug transactional program will come. If all be drug dealing, how can we eliminate drug? Drug will not be kanyari. So these kids are there, iman job solo, which we're gonna come to unemployment. Uku table, fed table, he confused her, he left the tamala, put her back way. Don't be sirama fengol mala. Purki la confusion on you. At the end of the day, they become victims. So on come for John William, we need to step up the game as leaders. Purka loopholes so loyal to that. The conviction will create. Can make sure that corruption will kill it. Because corruption is one key. Corrupt back it, Once corruption is in the center of everything, if I'm illegally, by not standing on the line, by not going on the straight way, what will them or wrong? So no corruption all lo polo ya kele. Anti-corruption below at another parliament. We see thing and below someone alone is not only okay, but while you implement, dual enforcer in chief thing, it start from the president coming down. National Assembly, police. So Gambians, we need to really be serious, serious about our lives. Know that we have no future. Future Tambuldi. A future because not the whole scientists to act like this. More program more far because of drug. More cannabis tailor, more be file nyamol kono jana, more be kidnapper, a bank robber. What kind of life are we? And we thinking that we are President be award a peaceful president in Africa. What kind of peace is that? It's a matter of prosecute Kang. It go that's peace, but it'll contribute destroy Kang by criminals.
I'm having an interview online.
So that's hypocritical. Yeah, let's speak truth to the power. There is no government here. There's no anti-law enforcement here. We are patriotic citizens that comes here every Sunday and speak our mind and our voice to everybody, especially to the power. Because people out there, they don't have voice to speak. And hopefully they are listening. Because this is very critical. Any country that's not secured, you are bound to fail. You are heading in the direction of failure, no matter how peaceful you are. I want to hear the freedom. Free tele, but Cairo be Bangkok. Cairo nyadi libe Bangkok. Yes, Cairo be Bangkok because you are not kidnapping people as a government, come in previous government kakenyami. You are not perhaps using disappear or whatever. That's good, but also fight crime. It's a two-punch way. Ibe bull flow be use la. But then bull killing use la. If what I bull do use, banko motel la filan. Then what are you doing? You are not doing great justice to your citizen. Either more people like you or not, as a leader, you have to do the right thing. It's left to them. If they elect you, fight. If they don't elect you, it's their bread and butter. But why are you maslahaing our security and our peace and allowing drugs to disappear in our country? Nobody hear about that drug by that guy and there are many drugs even coming to the country. So how can we be sure of our future? Honorable Makalo, you are in the center of politics. I'm not saying you are defending the government. I'm not saying that you are defending your party. But certainly, you cannot be putting this in a corner of, collective. Collective, we know that. Yeah, our collective responsibility, we are doing that every day. That's why we are here in this platform. So, yeah, let me stop here. But Sam, I've been internet all man think, but let's you can jump in because our viewers are still watching us.
Yeah. We'll let him join when he can. Know that internet in Gambia is not always stable. So, but anyway, I'll jump into Mandinka as well.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. The Kobela Nola Masakundakang, Molo have responsibility, but Masakunda is the one that we elected and say, Mole cut off a Masakunda, President Leiko, Naya Banko Mara. Yeah, I understand this, sir. My color is back. So, Mole Banko. Yes, citizens only our own citizens only rights, your responsibility. bari banko citizens ol ka karta wala fay mo clear ya tammendi e jikita men na ko nyine ben na banko sambala nyato nyine ben maranola nyine ben na luwala enforcement nyine ben na balwason en lambolo wala ka karta fay wo dali dole kan along that line anin ko ko so nimole karta fay ya di president le ko tay na banko mara they expect that expectation from the president fananka more the time many video about the phone don't take no president bukan why more the time many I okay employer I don't do I more appoint into a public service I don't do mara so saying president expectation of wolo bolo wala mu yela do ko Kenya ni me ke president nyata ke bondi more than that bao more the president mo kato fa wole mol be kari brocho dula wala bawo ngaina ko naina na banko mara naina inna balwo son yen naina yin nyike naina inna luwala enforce baby jelly if you would mute for a little bit
hello Mr. Sam.
Yes okay
yes you have said something right now by saying that when the government is elected atele nyanta kaninge 100% sonta ela kumoti sonta wala jamwe
okay
but nkana nyina ko ntola banko mankodo soto kakudo tamandino ani bi mansakunda la place ni yodi tela ila mo jama be wulila ibe kumo do fete yalo e fanan ibe computer do ita bi sama and then banko bunda jama bi yalo ko masakunda damati o bunda be magano aka banko dingo tombo ayo place karafal so if the government give you a position as a citizen Allah ko ite o place sa magano that's why I give you that position. The IGP is a Gambian. The Minister of Land is a Gambian. The Central Bank, they are Gambian. The immigration, they are Gambian. The governor, they are Gambian. All the institutions that you know in the Gambia is leading by Gambian people. Now, one thing we have to be honest with ourselves. Gambia, Nyatada Kontola Wulula, Gambia Mofakirin Bakile. As I'm talking to you right now, Modu Sawane is related to me. Maybe today he see me, but I know him. But you don't know me, we don't know each other. Maybe after we'll talk more. But now, if you Modu Sawani is a police officer, and then someone have reported me to police, and police catch me, I get in me. Modu Sawani is a OC of that police station. And I have to go for prison for 10 years. Modu Sawane, we accept that I go for prison for 10 years. Ntola Badia Obukake. This is our main problem. Problem is not about leadership. Our problem is about our behaviors, our mentality. Nyanta controller juko falling. Unkabadia choki intila katambi. Because kuo ay labandula soto, ay dandula soto. Ndoka choki do intila katambi. I will tell you one thing. And then leadership in this country is come from a political party. So if you want to blame a leader, then you are going to blame the people who voted for him. Who voted for that leader? You, him, I. Because the constitution said that the majority carry the vote.
Yeah.
Yes or not?
Yes.
Good. So a moment the person is elected in office, I think what we're supposed to do is not to go back, to go forward. How can we support that man to reach our goal? That is the problem.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not an NPP. But I can tell you that the president don't belong to NPP. He belongs to the Gambia people. Our president is Essential Adama Barrow, belong to all of us. He's not an NPP person. He's a Gambian citizen. So whatever people are saying is political kachado. You understand? And that Prince Africa Mama Kande, I tell him political father, Doba Africa Bausa Dabole, Doba Africa Khalifa Salah, Omo Kacha. But Nina Tatonia, Nima Sakunda Sitale, according to the Quran, we follow him. We are all believers.
So
I understand. Yes. I'll allow you to come.
But I'm going to respond what was like. So Yemen footing, I can agree with you to some extent. All right. molo coming na diamo kono follow la nga fanya molo your individual responsibility so la proka banko support banko tanya ari banko ya je dunia kono luwal le beje
Good.
the momentara luwa is central mo bebe luwa dumale ni luwa no matter drong badi ya fasa bokana Tafoko in Carolone arrest Kobe Sambala in the prison.
Mr. Sam.
Mari Maluano.
Mr. Sam Sise.
Yes.
Please, what the political party?
Was that?
Yeah.
Akonyari.
Your political party do you belong to?
Well, nte buka political party. Right now, I am the founder of Solutions for Gambia.
Solutions for Gambia.
Political party.
Okay.
Make Gambia.
Eka kate fai Gambia.
Hani buka ka ndolbe diaspora mansion to
buka tiketo na kate fai Gambia.
Nani make follow.
Okay. Do you know that in some countries also failing to vote is a chargeable offense? You know,
I understand that. But
okay, then listen. Our government is flexible with the nature of the Gambian people. We meet a flexibility in our nation. This is the problem because we married between us. There are many things who bring us together. What some people do, Gambia is quite different with those countries. We have our own reality, my brother, and you know it.
Well,
I know that you know it very well.
Yes, I understand reality, but I understand law is law. No matter where you go.
Okay. I will give you an example. If you say law is law.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So.
Okay, I want to give you one.
Okay, but the law is the law coming out. I mean, no one is above the law. So, number one, Gambia dingol member bantala bankolo kang. All right. Imanyan na fanka wule ka foko mbekato mbeta ticket or sanda. Ngata Gambia prokata kato fai because it is in the kato fai no.
It's
American all be Gambia. American all be Gambia, le Senegalese be Gambia, British all be Gambia. Wala kato fai la bankoe. Atare man ticket or sai. Ka ticket or sa menne so kino la molele palwa. So it's not the responsibility.
No, you are trying to misinterpret me. I ask you, I don't say that's what people should do. I ask you whether the way you like your country, the way you want Gambia, have you ever done it? You say no. Okay, let me tell you. Me, I came back from outside in 2016 to just come and vote.
Okay.
Don't you see how I have Gambian at heart? How much that cost me? Ela Bango.
Yes.
Yes. If you love your nation, you will pay for the price.
Yep. You know, I
know where you want to go. We have
now understand back, but the more be Jamabet Gambia, Jamabet Tuba, Gambia just about a week ago or so. Jamabet Tuba would do it Tano Gambia, Mankaito. It's Tano Gambia, Bank Bali Katofai. Bank Polianta, Ferrol Baker, Embassy Baker. Gambian Embassy, Council of the Job.
No. Mr. Sam.
Yeah.
Yes or not? Good. Even to you to vote for your country will be a problem because where you are living to where the vote will take place, you have to move. And then being illegal in any country in the world is very dangerous for you.
Well, Mr. Bakar, let me help you guys here.
Yeah, but let's go back to the topic because they're both kind of off topic now.
Yeah.
But the men folk can tell more right lemma and more personal opinion over here. Can I conditional more can more cut off? Yeah. So going back to the topic. More cut off by President President was more tombo many bedoko kelai. Under the law of the Gambia, President from the Luai Duma, my President President, a banko Luai, a blue white Duma. The President more tombo a plasoto. The President more tombo a plasoto, a more plaso tamandina, ke bondi la yanta bondi. Because now me bondi, eka e ka banko to kuyale e president fana to kuyale. So when it comes to drug enforcement, the topic on men kono tang, drug will be done come banko ka be done come banko kan. Banko nyanta mona mirala wala mo solution to this problem. Mona ma solution oti wala mo man sakunda ba o dual be jelo credit. Man sakunda o lual tamandi. Kana balafa, kana mojube, kana nyinjo kombade namu. Consistency back in the administration to be very consistent.
Yeah.
Ninyi yake yamuta yasoron yake tindi yasoron nindo yaka muta yake tindi yasoron. Ana mo fata. This is the point. So unfortunately, I'm dropped it. But the point I'm trying to get here is the consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what Makalo is Honorable Makalo is saying is that Kobadia system moment BJ Nanta Wale Falena.
Right.
But that system has been there. The reason why I'm making comparison, comparison on Yimbasa Makanang, because during Jammeh's time, and I don't even want to quote him because he didn't end in a good note. So, but there are certain differences that we observe. You understand? This body ya cool bijele.
Yeah,
but
will be jail.
But still, we don't have this kind of crimes in the country. Now, what he does is he prosecute them right away.
Yep.
He went to a point that people were scared of him because of the manner he prosecute these crimes. Not only the manner he terrorized, which is the bad aspect of him. So what we are saying here, and our viewers can attest to that, Ndolmafo government entirely is responsible. You know, our business people, our our families, everybody has something to chip in. But what we are saying is that what can be done, because some of these drugs come to the country, it now without law enforcement or leaders or acknowledgement, because certain things be akita, they have the right to find out and investigate. They have the ammunitions, they have the tools. Yeah, as a leader, you have to be proactive. If you don't maintain security in your country, you're gonna fail. What can you say that Hanila Korda Konaniman security kiji?
Absolutely.
This is why it's always important for people to come forward and speak the truth, because it's not about being anti anything. Yeah, understand. So Mr. Makalo is driving at, even you, if you don't vote, is illegal. You don't even supposed to be in that country. Illegally and all of that. All those are excuses. We're not talking about those. We are talking about
drugs.
How drugs is affecting our children and our families. Because the point of the matter is right now, if they don't do an aggressive fighting of drugs in the Gambia, and more many ko ika drug wafi ke samanang, including anybody, they bring them to justice, and then put tough laws. I'm telling you, our country is going down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because drug akafenja male create. First, drug mental instability create more lale. More dolka more far. I saw a boy, Mea Lonko. He killed his dad. I cannot remember which village. I can't find my Lonko ala dad far. Because Amantra from Bulbraba ala dad far. Because I found them for Thai lembang, for Kus lembang, for any kind of drug lembang. Near ma Mea Lonko Mantra from Bulu. Ye mo far. Would will atin, ye memma will atin, or tari fanghang. Iko malef dunyala. Ika men saba, or ika memma will asab. So when you substance all, there should be a tough law. Men ka trafficking, men ka import, men ya lonko in our National Assembly, our legislative body, is their job to make sure that they create tough laws and they have police presence and community policing. We'll build the in place. Eternity, we cannot do that unless we organize in our neighborhood. Come in Makalo. Makalo can, they can organize in their neighborhood a community groups, sensitization program. Yes, those are all good, like we are doing here. Community survey. You understand who need help, counseling. These are all things you can fight, towards drugs, because model BJ, drugs cause mental problem. Mental problem is capable enough for somebody to kill, somebody to commit suicide, somebody to do anything, rape, anything possible. So if we don't secure that and sanity in our country, we are bound to fail. This is the problem. That failure that I'm talking about. And then when we fail, who is the first person to blame? The leadership. Who is the first person to put the president down? So it is about, it is not about we are not here to be anti, GDC or anti-MPP or anti-UDP. Yeah, Makalo can come, Honorable Makalo can come with the fact that we put the presidents there. But once we put him there, guess what happened? It is his job, his job to execute the office the best way. How? And he has advisors, and those advisors, if they are not capable enough, he should fire them. Bring, and advisors who will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. If you bring advisors or subordinates who tell you what you want to hear, you are bound to fail as a leader. So you need to have people who will tell you what you need to hear, even though it's tough. Then you work plans towards it. So this is what we lack in Gambia and in Africa.
Good.
So
now you have said everything.
Yeah. So this is the point. So at this point, what we Gambian people have done their best and elect somebody they think would do better than other candidate, like better than your candidate, better than UDP's candidate, better than other key candidate. So it is upon him now. It's not upon me or Sam or you. It's upon him to surround himself with the knowledge necessary, because one man is not an island. Knowledge necessary, and try to try to tap into those resources, and who will actually direct him the best way, not direct him politically to stay in power or to have political grip or to have a political party that will be here forever. Doesn't make sense. How can you come and say this party will be here forever? That means you don't mean good to the country, because one party cannot be here forever. The reason why U.S. has been successful, you have Republican and Democrats. They switch turns. That's why one party would do everything to be better than the other. So it's become competition. But Gambia, when one party come in power, the party say, I will stay here forever. Yeah, Jammeh said that. Jawara's government said that. Now MPP is saying that. So we are going back to square one. We thought that we have new Gambia, but we have old Gambia. We are having old Gambia, not new Gambia. Yeah, but I will allow you guys to come. Now, and then when you, because we have, we're gonna try to move to the next topic. But when we are talking about this, let's look at solutions of drug use.
That's what I want to talk about. That's what I've been talking about. Okay. The solution. So, if you would allow me to come in, I said just like how I said, our country is our country. We elected people to lead us. Just like in a house, only one person can go in the kitchen and cook. Not everybody, not the whole house.
Who's cooking now?
Even though it's the interest of everyone, because we're all in this together, we're all going to eat that lunch. But only one person is going to go in the kitchen and cook. The person that went in the kitchen and cook, but there's not enough salt. Who do you blame? Do you blame the whole family, or do you blame the cook? You blame the cook, because that cook is the one that led us to the food, right? So in this case, like what Makalo said, yes, like I said, we are all responsible people, but we are not the law enforcers. We cannot enforce the law. We have no right to enforce the law. We can report what we see, and it'll be up to the law enforcement to do their job. And if they don't do their job, we're not moving anywhere. So what is the solution? We're getting a lot of noise from there. If you would You will mute your line for a little bit, and then you can unmute when you're talking, would be good. Can you mute that? There you go. Yep, good. Now, when you're ready to talk, you can unmute it. That way, it won't be too much noise. But so, what is the solution? Like I said, drugs. I started by saying the same thing. Drugs. You're unmuted again. Drugs are all over the world. Every country has problems with drugs, right? They all have problems, but they want to look for solutions by having tough laws. We do have tough laws in the country. We can make our laws even tougher. Our National Assembly can do that. They can change the laws, make it tougher, but we already have laws that are not being enforced the way it is, the way they're supposed to be. So having the right people in the right positions is very critical, very, 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 very important. So that one, we have our right people that are there to enforce our laws and be able to do what they need to do the best by enforcing the laws to make sure that people can do the right thing for our country. So if we have tough laws and we have law enforcers that are enforcing the law, then the government that we elect, because you and I cannot go and do something in the government, we cannot, but we can have the government that can enforce the laws. We can have the government that is going to put the right people in place and say, this is what we want to happen in our country. Create, what is it called? Create some policies, like, for example, how do we control drugs in our country? You know, by having the right people in the right positions to fight for drugs throughout the country. You know, fight for drugs and fight to make sure that drugs are maintained and that people are not abusing drugs in our country. So we need to make sure that that happens. We need to make sure that the law enforcement officers for drug enforcement officers are doing their job. And when they do their job also, they hold themselves accountable and make sure that laws are being enforced. The other part is the government can also enforce laws and use the GRTS that belongs to the government and advertise, discourage people, come up with programs for the youths and the families, because we are all in this together. It's our country. Let's say every Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, there are drug enforcement officers and doctors sitting on television talking to people what drugs do to people and why we shouldn't be using drugs, why our people shouldn't be using drugs. But at the same time, the other part of that is when they go to arrest people that are either smuggling drugs or selling them or so, they put on camera, just like cops in America. And the bad boys, they go capture bad boys, you put it on camera. I tell you this, if you put that on, have GRTS cameramen follow them, they get to arrest people that are selling drugs or trafficking drugs. And where there's a drug bust, there are cameras on top of them. I mean, people will know, oh my God, so-and-so was caught selling drugs. So-and-so was caught. People, nobody wants their family member to be on camera for selling drugs. Or if you don't want it, don't do it, right? Publicize everything, put everything on camera, be transparent about everything. This is one way to solve the problem. Put it on camera. The moment you do that, and then those people get caught, the people that get caught and arrested are on camera, you take them and prosecute them. Put that prosecution on live television. Let people watch that a drug dealer is being convicted in the Gambia, being prosecuted until they convict him and sentence him to whatever terms he's going to serve in prison. If you put all of that on camera, people selling drugs will start to back off because they don't want to be on camera. They don't want their family members to see them being prosecuted on national television. They don't want certain things to happen. So the government has responsibilities, a lot of responsibilities. People have individuals. All we can do is you see something, say something. But now when you say something to the authorities and they don't do anything about it, you've done your part. It's the authorities that are not doing their job. And if they're not doing their job, we have laws. They have to follow the law. They have to do their job. If not, they need to be removed. That's it, period. There is no maslaha when it comes to law. The law does not know maslaha. All right, we need to follow the law and be consistent throughout the country. If we do that, and on top of that, the government need to look at other means, like solutions, like bring dogs, drug sniffing dogs, put them all over Port Authority, put them all over the airport. So when baggages and luggages and boxes of items come in, the dogs are sniffing all over the place. When they sniff, they show you suspicion that this may have something. Custom authorities and authorities go there and have that person cornered, take that box, go open and investigate, see what's in there. If it's drugs, arrest that person. If it's no drugs, they've done their job, let them go. Just that simple. If we do, we need to enforce the laws. We need to make sure that we put the system in place, system that's going to catch drug traffickers. That's the system we need. Yeah, we cannot just, like I said, drugs are all over the world. Every government has the same problem. But how do we tackle the problem is the question. In America or in Germany and other countries, they catch you with drugs, guess what? Boy, you will be persecuted, you'll be put in prison. From prison, you're deported. That's it. You will be deported. No doubt, no questions, no maslaha, no if or buts. Is the law is the law. Even the president is under the law. President is under the law. Just like that, we need to follow the law. That's my take on it.
Okay, very good, Sam. But where's Makalo? Is out? Yeah. All right. So solution is gonna be back. Solutions. We another solutions that I would add to having the dog sniffing dogs and also enforcement agencies. I think and then having GRTS. Bringing awareness. Community organizations. Community policing, making sure that we have citizens that are participating in that, bringing sensitization, reaching out neighborhoods and reporting, and also like cracking and reporting to police to crack down on these traffickers, because most of the biggest criminals are not the ones that sells on the street. Those are getting the end product. The ones that bring tons in the country, those are the ones that are the biggest criminals, because those are the ones that make the drugs available to the average citizens. So you gotta start cracking from the top, putting all those people don't go to jail. And those are the people who actually need to go to jail. The business people who are trafficking the drugs. Those are the people who need to go to jail, because they are the one who has the means. They are the one who has the money to bring the drugs in the country. So they are the one who's supposed to be locked up. The regular citizens in the street corner, is just making a little change. But the big mafia at the top, those are the ones making thousands and millions of dollars or dollars. So we need to start cracking down from the top. Once we started cracking down from the top, and then the government need to make sure that their hands is not in any of this. They need to vet each and every person in the government, making sure that their hands is not into any of these things coming to the country. Because sometimes these elected officials or the people in power, through them, these things, gets waste into the country. So all those loopholes has to be closed. So those are some of the recommendation. And also, parents, we need to make sure that we talk to our kids. We need to have family dinner, talking to our kids, telling them what's out there. Communicate. Don't leave your kids, by themselves. You need to talk to them, advise them, even though it's not easy. We don't have time, but we need to make that available. And again, at the end of the day, it's all about collective work. I understand that, and I'm not taking that away. But bulk of the responsibility is on the people in position, in power. Because if they can do the crackdown, and we are sensitizing, and we are mobilizing, and making a collective effort, we will be able to fight drugs in our country and make sure that corruption. You cannot fight drugs without fighting corruption, because drug is money, and money breeds corruption. So that would be my addition to that. But let's see if Mr. Honorable Makalo has anything to do towards the solution before we come to the unemployment. Honorable Makalo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you people have seen everything already. So if you have add something, I don't think it will be more because some have seen everything, and then you have seen, you have added another thing. So it's the government responsibility, and then we have to just adjust small from our home, sensibilizing the environment. You know, before we have what they call bantaba in our society, where elder used to sit, you know, discuss issue of the area, and then everybody go home and dispatch it to his family. But now the things have changed. So now we only wait for the government. And then, you know, we have one problem. We always vote incompetent people in office, not competent, incompetent people, people who cannot deliver. When we vote them, how can you empower a blind man to watch your house? Then, my brother, you lose your house. When you lose your house, you stop complaining. You know, this topic you say is very, 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 very important. The first topic, very important before we go to the second. We are elected people who are incompetent, starting from the highest position, the second, the third, the fourth, up to the last. So the result will not be efficient. We just be keeping complaining until the 5 year finish. When election come again, we begin and bribe people, and then we sit again. So come here for Nyameno, we just do like that. Let the government try sensibilizing people, and then, you know, everybody become a watchdog, and then we see how we reach our target. Okay, that's all what I can say. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is not that we are just going to be putting ourselves.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So
Yeah,
that brings us to thank you for that. And I hope all of you are really gonna pick up that. That brings us to our second topic, which is unemployment. Employment is the word of the day in the Gambia. You know, everybody is complaining there's no job. There's no job for the youth. You know, the pays are low, the pays are not sufficient, the prices are going up. Sam, you just came from the Gambia. Makalo, Honorable Makalo, you were on the ground, and I was there last week. We all could see how the prices are really affecting, you know, the lives of our people. When you ask the government, you know, folks, they would say there's no price control. I mean, like the goods are, you know, everything's imported. Sadly to say, once you import basic everything, you of course your currency gonna go down, inflation would happen. And Sam, you know this, you know, you and Makalo perhaps know this better than me. So you would see a significant change in the dynamics of things. So in that case, the burden become bigger on the citizens. So if you export now, that's a totally different story. So our problem has always been our exports has been decreasing, our imports have been more. It looks like we are importing everything, which is not good for Gambia. That's why I'm saying, you know, we don't have a vision as a nation. We don't have plans. Sam always say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We don't have those in place. That quote, I always, you know, I also tap. You're not Sam. You're not the only one who tap into that. I tap into it too because it is the reality of the day. So our problem is we don't have a vision. We are a country without a vision. Trust me. From 20 years from now, our government don't have a vision, and they don't have a plan. Yes, they are building some roads. They are building, you know, infrastructure here from OIC and other things. You see that, you say, oh, yeah, the government is working. I'm not saying that the government is not working. Kudos to what they're doing. But that's not the plan. The plan is, first, you have to feed your people. Once food comes down, people are happy. Your belly full, you're ready to work. Medical taken care of, people are healthy. That's human resources right there. Gambia has about 60% of youth in a younger age. That's a blessing in disguise. I'm not saying, old people are not, useful. We want them here, definitely. We love them and we want them here. We all want to be old. But the most important thing, God has given us resources that our 60% of our population is youth. So why not invest on those for the next generation? As leaders in National Assembly, what they should be thinking about is not today. Instead of buying those expensive cars, millions of dollars, they should be thinking about what do we put in kids and youth education, in technology, in infrastructures that would breed development later on. You don't look at today. Yeah, tomorrow is not built tomorrow. It's built today. Today was built yesterday. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda was 20, 30 years ago. Rwanda was in a war. But what they did 20 years ago, they started building the country. Now the country is built. Right? Rome was not built in a day. So our nation need to start thinking. But we are, to tell you, sorry to say the word, so say this word, we are selfish. Our majority of us are selfish. We are not selfless because we look at today. I am in power today. Honorable Makalo is a National Assembly member. He looks at how he drives today, how many podium he gets today. I'm not saying that that's what's going on, Honorable, but I'm just saying that as an example. So they're not looking at how many wives do I marry today? How many vacations do I take? So our problem is today. So that's why I say we are selfless. If we are selfless, we're going to be seeing generations to come. The reason why we are in this predicament, because the past didn't do their job. If the past, the other administration and Jammeh's administration did their job, perhaps some would have left here. So even though this current government could come in and did damages, but it wouldn't have been as worse as it is now. So my point here is that employment is a key, and the Gambian government and then the entire legislature should start looking at ways to create employment. Invest in technology, invest in healthcare, invest in resources that will bring skilled jobs. Try to focus on agriculture to minimize import. Let's breed animals. Gambia is getting all their lambs, their chicken, everything from Senegal. Now our rivers are being tapped in by Senegalese and Chinese. We don't even have healthy fish anymore. We miss the chalos, we miss the ngunjas, we miss all of those foods that we used to have as a child. And now we think that, we are asking ourselves, what went wrong? Because we failed to plan. We live for today. We don't live and look towards for tomorrow. So I think unemployment is a key issue. And each and every one of you, I'll urge you, Sam and yourself and Makalo, let's all, at least who are at a position, try to employ somebody. Let's all take this responsibility. People in diaspora, try to create something in our motherland that will employ 5 people, 3 people, 2 people. Currently, that is something that works because there are so many youth on the ground. If you can just create an employment opportunity for them, even 5,000 a month, trust me, that solves one problem. You're taking one pie out of the bulk. So I will urge my fellow diasporans not to just be sending money to their families or to the Gambia building houses. Send money and create some type of employment where you're gonna at least be proud to employ few youths. So gradually, it's not only the government that can create jobs. Us as citizens too, we can. If today you have a poultry farm in the Gambia, or if I have a garden in the Gambia, 10 people can be taken out of the equation. Am I not correct? This is a collective effort. I 2017, I met President Barrow in New York City here about this platform. And I told him how we can work together. The first thing he told me is, Mr. Sawane, we as government, we create opportunities for employment and loopholes for employment, but the private sector and the citizen create employment. And he was right. We had a dialogue, he was right. But I told him, how can you empower the citizen? By allocating contracts to them. Because that Similex contract was allocated to somebody, a Gambian betted for it, somebody else got it. So at that time, we were in the middle of that. I told President Barrow, your government need to consider your citizens first. Before you award Chinese person a contract, award Honorable Makalo contract. Honorable Makalo contract will hire people, family members that are Gambian citizens. The money stays in the country and that the citizens of the Gambians are employed. Chinese people will bring somebody from China to come and work in that particular contract so that the money stays there. So this is the way we need to do. The government should forget about this corruption. You come, Chinese man comes and give them money on the table, they give them the contract. While Gambians is there, having the same qualification, the same opportunity, the same education, the same everything, they give it to the Chinese people. Because you know why? That one will give them money under the table. So we should stop that. Award contracts to people, consider your citizens first, because the money stays there and they'll employ their own people. So these are all things that we need to discuss. But sometimes I think, and I'm not inside the government, and I'm not an advisor to the government, but I think sometimes what we are seeing, we are not seeing, this thing happening. And if it is not happening, it's not being communicated to the general public. That's why I urge the government to have a database, central database, whereby each citizen can have access. Everything is there, transparency wise. All the budgeting, all the achievement, all the accomplishment, everything that is tied to that is tied to civil service. Everything is there. Every ministry, they have all their information there. Their budget, their revenues, their finances, everything. And people can go and discuss and have information systems, being published there so that people can know what the government is doing, what departments are doing, what the civil service is doing. This is very important because information is the key. So this is some of my recommendations for employment. But again, trust me, Gambia, the reason why most people are traveling is because there is no opportunity. And even if there is opportunity, they don't know how. It might take, a little thing. Create a skill school, like a masonry, or maybe, metal workshop, or maybe show people skills. It's not all about going to school and getting your degrees, reading theory. Also about practical implementation give you money, because you can work on your own, you can work as a consultant, you can do more. So I'll stop here, and then Mr. Makalo, you can Honorable Makalo can come, and then Sam can come, and we can wrap this up.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother Molu Saud. Okay, as you say, it's true, but I would just like to say things. You see, any nation that Allah have blessed have these three things. The first is the water. The second is the land. The third is the manpower. Gambia have that reward. Now, when you do three things, if you don't know, it's you. Allah have given you already. 60% of Gambia, they are youth, as you just mentioned right now. We have land. If you take from Brikama up to Jara Soma, one side of it, boy, the agriculture is the backbone of any nation who want to develop, especially Africa. because our technology is not advanced. But the agriculture, we can make it. So if the government don't want to invest in agriculture, and then children don't have the skill, there will not be an employment. I'm telling you right now, I have a project that I have bought. Write everything on the paper. But if our government was opening doors for the citizen to come and sell their project to them, I think we will be in another level. You're talking about training center. I will give you an example like GTTI. You see, my brother, we have to be honest that somebody will go to GTTI, spend maybe 4 years, come at GTTI, no job. The point not to us. It's not only to me. I have 7 skills. I have 7 skills into you. 7 skills. Politician is 8. If you have skill, you need a place to go and implement that skill. You should have job. That is the problem of the government. That one I will not compromise with that. Because, and also in some region in the Gambia, there's no workshop. Workshop should be from what? I will take an example of Banjul. Banjul have a training center. But how many training center in Banjul? Banjul have 9 boards. How many training center in Banjul? Then the amount is small. And how many skills they are learning in that training center? That is another issue. Who will go there? Who will voluntarily to make it for free for Gambian people? We don't want to help each other. I seen. So the training center should be in all the world of the Gambia. That means from ward to constituency up to regions. Now having training center also is not sufficient. It means that after those people come from those training center, we're going to work again. You have people who are competent and sitting at home. Is a problem. We need to employ them. So it's where you see that the government have to come because you need money. You need money to employ people. You need money. If you want to go in agriculture right now in the Gambia, I think it will be better for you at least to have money. The smallest amount, if the government want to go to agriculture, I have a 250 million. With 250 million, the government can employ almost 500 people. And those 500 people, when you employ them, know that they will come from training and then join us. When they are joining us, the foreigner they are leaving. Because they will get the skills from the foreigner they are leaving. We cannot leave, we cannot sack foreigner from our country if we are not competent. We need knowledge from them. We have to attach our people to them. I will give you an example. The ferry is 12. Who Gambian who was competent to make the ferry? A nation. We are talking about Bankola Port. This is a woman, boy. It's not good. Wala is not good. Sometimes we need competent people. Today, all the 7 skills I have. If there's an institution, I can give it for free. Mansula Butut Mansula Wala. I will go there, dispatch it for free, and then Barajomba. So the government have a role to play. We have a role to play to take our nation to the higher level, because the training centers is where people will go to inquire the knowledge, and then they have to implement it somewhere after getting the knowledge. If you know that, is zero. And then also, in some country here, in some regions in the Gambia, it's not able for you to Alcalo to give you an empty land for you to come and build a training center there, because Dulai Abele Wafli. Now, if you make a training center, you have to go and rent. But we was not organized since the beginning. That's why we have all these problems. And now we are trying to fight it. It's more better now or never again. Because I remember here, in time of Yaya Jammeh, you have told some Alcalo that if you show me a plot of land tomorrow, I put the first stone of the football field. That could not happen. Because you know that they don't have that. We have problem. We have serious problem, my brother. I'm telling you, even they pay Gambian $20,000 monthly, that cannot sustain that Gambian, because the sack of the 1 bag of soble of 19 kilo is 1,200. 1 carton of lupa is 1,200. The carton of oil, 20 liter, is 1,900. And then if your table spoil, you have to campaign. If your socket have a problem, you have to pay election. Boy, because you just pull it out. So we have to do something. It's our responsibility. You people who are in the diaspora, as Modu Sawane just said, why we can come down and write something in the paper. See, what can we do? And how many people can we employ? Because if you see the youth they are going, it's because you cannot sit here seeing your father and your mother suffering. And then you are a grown-up. Boy, it's good to go not see that. Some they don't go there, they are going to look for something. They are running to see their parents suffering. All my life I spent it outside the Gambia. Traveling from almost 17 countries in the world. Why? I'm looking for something to help my parents. I could not make it there. I come back home. We have to do something. Those who are there who have something, I think they have to conquer with the one who are good, because no fun and be. I'll give an example. Somebody like Tabal, he bought 30 van and give it to some of our brothers here. They catapult it. They cannot even bring in his daily contribution. He end up by selling those vans. Sometimes it's difficult to help our people, but with agriculture, you work, we see what you work, we pay you what you work. It's tic-tac. From Brikama up to Jasoma, my brother, we have many empty land. People there. If you want to have a better nation, is the agriculture is the backbone. And Gambia have all the stops. We have the land, we have the water, we have the manpower. 60% of our Gambian, they are youth. What we need is the government to pull money, come and implement it. In my point of view, if you have you need minister to offer a land. We build houses there. We open visa also with foreign country to come and work in the Gambia. Like Dubai have done it. Because it's not good for us to be buying this chicken. I'm not, if I was in my house, I would have sold you my chicken. All this Ramadan, I will not buy chicken. I will not buy it because I have planned it. If I should buy it, it will be difficult for me. We have to do something. Maybe after I will snap it, I will snap and send it to you. Boy, Gambia, we have everything. I'm telling you, what people are calling, even the food that we.
Yeah, I think he's frozen. Yeah, Sam, you can come in. This is
we are throwing.
Okay,
Boy, some animal can survive. Let's go to Gambia, they do book again. Sorry, now who come here? Economy. Look right now, the Senegalese soap onions is in the Gambia. They are selling 40 kilos of Senegalese soap.
Yeah, I can put this there.
40 kilos for 1,800. And normally, if you Gambians to block the border, your kids come to Gambian first. It's black and white in the constitution. It's not about a compromising issue. They say Gambia is for Gambian. Gambia. Omo Gambia dingola banko. Compromise to TJ. Every border so.
Yeah, he's talking about something very important though.
I want to get my party or I want to defend somebody. I'm in politics because I want to fight for the right of the Gambian people. That's what took me to politics. I can tell you in my word who won election day.
Yeah, he keep coming. So Sam, you can come in.
Yeah.
I think he you know, he can come in and he can wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, you know.
10 by 10 second emoji. So I'm having online interview. That's all. So after. So you need something. No.
Yeah, you
So
are
I get me.
You are cutting off, yeah, but we want to wrap it up. Yeah, just come in here. Complete it.
Okay, are you getting me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to work together to make sure that if the government don't want to invest, even us Gambians, Gambian diaspora, and some who are will, if we have a forum, they say now everybody, this is what you have to bring. Those who are in Gambia, if you can bring 5,000 or 10,000, whatever we have as incoming, they will give you according to what you contributed. That will be your benefit. If you contribute $1,000, you have the benefit of $1,000 from the project. We will raise the amount that we need. We'll raise that amount. 250 million is money, but it's not a big money too. We will raise it. Because today, our kids, our grandkids, they are the one who will rule this country. And we want to leave the country in the good hands. Look at Rwanda, as you was talking, Paul Kagame, what is happening. Look at Equatorial Guinea. I have been in Equatorial Guinea. It's a country whereby stone only you are there. But Yajame go there with his knowledge. Those people today, they was buying food from Cameroon and Nigeria. They was importing their food. Today, Alhamdulillah, Rabbi Alamin. So Gambia have people who are competent in some areas, but we need to be, frank. We need to be honest. Anybody who can let us empower him to do things and then we reach our goal. I think I will stop the Samsi say so you can also carry from there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. McCullough. Thank you so much for all your time and this and everything that you said. These are all part of our problems and all part of things that Gambia needs. I want to start with by saying, in every country, every government that come into power, you have to set a vision. You have to set goals. You have to sit down and ask yourself, the cabinet, the government need to sit down and ask themselves, what is our problem? What is the problem of Gambia? So we can make a list of problems in the Gambia. There'll be a lot of things, a lot of problems, of course, but then that's where you prioritize. And when you prioritize the problems to what is important first, you go from the first to second to third and fourth and go up like that and put them in buckets of priority. Priority A is something we must do now. If we don't do it, it's going to collapse. Priority B can wait for a year or two before it goes into a worse situation. Priority C are things that can wait. Those are going to be on our long-term goals. All right, then you make that plan because, like Pastor Wanda was saying, I always say this: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So the planning is very important by bringing the right people with the right mindset, the subject matter experts, and sit down and plan. What are you going to tackle first? That's very, very important. And if you look at Gambia, we know healthcare is a priority. We know education is a priority. Cost of living is a priority. The economy is a priority. You name it. Education is a priority. All of this infrastructure is important. All right, but by looking at all of those things and set a plan and set a goal with a vision in mind by 10 years, assuming the president will serve 2 terms and then get off. 2 terms, so you make plans for 10 years. First year, second year, third year. What are you going to accomplish in your first 5 years? First term. Very important to set that goal. By the end of the first term, we need to be able to, the president or the government need to be able to move on to the next priorities. So, and there are certain things that really impact. I know we're in the youth, and I'm coming to that also. I'm coming to that. I just started somewhere that will impact the youth as well. There are certain things that I know of that impacts any country's economy. And in fact, there are poor countries in the world. The poor countries in the world are poor. Part of the reason they're poor, not the only reason, but part of the reason they're poor is because they don't offer anything to the global market. And Gambia is one of those. We don't, in Jawara's time, we used to export peanuts, groundnuts out. We used to do that. And now we don't have that global market offer, things that we can be competitively offering at the global market that can benefit Gambia. So we don't have that. So poorest countries they are poor because of some of those reasons. But the other things, in order to be able to tackle all of the things that come along with a bad economy that impacts youth employment and all of that stuff, you've got to start somewhere. And one of those is four key areas that you have to start with is to really fight corruption in the institutions. You've got to be able to eliminate corruption in the institutions. That's one. Number two, you have to have an educated labor force. Because if you have people in the market, in the labor, working for the government that have no clue, or that are clueless, or that are not competent, that's going to be a problem. We're not going to move forward because they are incompetent to be able to make any change. They're not going to be innovative enough or creative enough to make any change that's going to benefit the country. So that's two. So educated labor force is two. Number three, I would say is infrastructure. Of course, you've got to have good infrastructure in the country. When I say infrastructure, doesn't mean what. When you say infrastructure in Gambia, most people think about roads, and the president is building road, which is a good thing. So we should thank him for building roads. But that's not the only thing in the infrastructure. Infrastructure includes telecommunication. You need to have good hospitals. You need to have good roads. You need to have a good power plant. Electricity and water supply. All of these are part of infrastructure. Telecommunication. People need to be able to have good internet service, good telecommunication service in general. All of those are part of the what is it called? The infrastructure. And the fourth thing that I'm going to mention, and these are not the only things, but I'm just saying the four key things that really have to be in place for any country to really be able to build a good and a strong economy. The fourth one is security. People need to be able to feel safe in their country. Investors need to be able to feel safe that they can come and invest and they're not going to lose their money. They should have all of those. Everyone should be secure. Like security in general. There's a lot into security, but security in general. So I'll keep it that. Now, flipping the page, going to talk about the youths. Youths are very important in our society. Like Mr. Swan has said, about 60, you said 60% of our population are youths. And it's very important to have something for them. They have to be part of the vision of the country, where we do something for the youth, where we build the country to be able to cater for the youths that are coming. And some of those, I've talked about them so many times in my group. One of those is to create a path for the youths to get out of high school or join the army, join somewhere where you can learn skills free of charge. And when you learn those skills free of charge, because people are poor in Gambia, they can't afford to, not everybody can afford to go pay for GTTI, okay? So, or other institutions. So for them to be able to join a place where they can have free education and learn good skills there. One example I always gave you, given this example before, is to join the military. When they join the military and learn all the skills, if we transform our military or reform them to be able to cater skills training centers there. If you want to learn carpentry, plumbing, painting, roofing, flooring, you name it, electrician, plumbing, you name all of this. If we can have that in our Gambia National Army and have those sections there where when the youths come out of high school, they can enroll into the army, all right, and learn all of those skills for free. While they learn them for free for a couple of years, 2 to 3 years, and they can come out with an associate degree in those skills. While they learn that they are also there to serve and help our country because the army is there to serve the country. So if a country has, if for example, a school has been knocked down by a tornado or a big storm that destroys a school, you send that group to go build that school for the country. And the government or the school doesn't have to pay anything other than buy the material. Labor costs will be free because it will be done by these people. So that's just one example. Hospitals need anything. We need electricians, we need plumbers, we need painters to maintain our property. Because Gambia, we like to build stuff, but we cannot maintain them. We can't sustain them. So these people will help do all of that until they come out. When they come out, now they can go in different directions. Government can help. get them some guaranteed loan program from banks where they can obtain loans and go open their own workshop and hire more people. Because the government's job is really, no government can be the largest employer in that country. Government cannot be the largest. Government employs some people, but also opens up avenues for institutions and private enterprises to open up and operate and allow them to hire more people and reward them, create a tax break for them, like tax incentives for hiring people. This is going to allow a lot of youths to work, and also some of them will come out of those skills training centers from the Army and join the government's maintenance program. The government should be able to have their own maintenance program. Don't be paying private people. Don't be paying other contractors to come do things. Get your own maintenance department where you have all of these skills. And that is going to require a lot of employment, quite a bit of employment, but more economical than paying outside contractors, especially the foreigners. So there's a lot of things that can be done for the youth. We're just not on the right path. We just didn't create that strategy from the beginning as part of the plans. And that's why I always say, if you fail to plan to fail. So we failed to plan for our youth. That's why we are where we are. And the other part is when it comes to the economy and also cost of living for a country, it's very important. When the government sees that because Gambia is a free market, if the government sees that being a free market, foreigners are taking advantage of this. You have the Lebanese, you have the Indians, you have the Nigerians, you have Guineans, everybody opening business in Gambia and taking advantage of the free market and jacking up prices all the time, price gouging and all kinds of things happening is causing our people to suffer. So when you see something like that, you can go one or two ways. Government can work with the National Assembly to put some guidelines and price controls on basic commodities so they cannot get these back up. Or two, government can engage in opening what President Jawara did, NTCs. NTC, National Trading Corporation, it's something that the Minister of Finance, Minister of Trade, and the Minister of Agriculture can join hands and open national trading corporations, NTCs, across all regions where they sell the basic commodities like rice, sugar, cooking oil, flour. I mean, you name all of these basic commodities that people buy that are expensive in the market today. If the government open NTCs and they bring these stuff and sell them at a cheaper price, because the government is going to be duty free. They're not going to pay any duty. So they should be able to get stuff at a reasonable cost and sell them at just to make a little profit out of there. This will force the retailers to lower their prices, because if a retailer is selling a bag of rice for 2,000, but government can sell it for 1,500, well, guess what? Everybody's going to be buying the same rice from the government, not the retailers, which will force the retailers to lower their cost of goods also to match the government. That's another way to do it. So there are a lot of avenues the government could have taken, a lot of avenues that are out there that we can do to help our own people, to help the economy, to help the cost of living, but most importantly also to help the youth on all of those and many more that I spoke about in the past. So, but I'll take a break here and allow you to come in.
Right,
Yes.
right. So thank you, Sam. I just want to jump in. Makalo, Honorable Makalo said something here. He has about 6 skills or 7 or 8. And he can use none of them in the Gambia. It's sad, Honorable. It's sad because thank you for all the work that you put in and all the travels you did. Somebody like you should be very resourceful to the nation, but I think you are underutilized. Okay, because this is what I'm saying. We have an issue. If we don't take care of it, we are finished. Somebody like you, who has all those skills, you can be a consultant. You can be doing multiple things for the nation. It's not all about money, but what you are giving back to your community and to your nation. And and then there are many people in the predicament that you are in. I graduated from GTTI. 1991. Guess what happened? I couldn't find a single job. I couldn't find a single job. And the next thing is to think about devise a way how to go further my education. So you are right. Skilled jobs are there. It's just that, like there's no avenue to exploit them. And you cannot go with an empty hand and create something. I did a construction construction engineering there. And after the fact, I had no, I had no resources to establish my own company or even get employed by anybody. So barely what's the use of the training skills, all that you do. So the fact of the matter is you cannot make these elephant projects can never help us. We instead of focusing on this big infrastructure, we should be focusing on social infrastructure, things that make a human being better. Social things, infrastructure like medical, like things that you can have the results right away. You send somebody to study medicine today. There are medical needs there. All they need to know is to provide equipments and provide things for that facility to work. So I think, everything we're doing, trust me, people are trying at a lower level, like yourself, but we don't have the institution. All the money that comes to the country, COVID money, where is it? That fund can even be deviated to build our medical facility if they are smart enough. You probably might not spend all that money, but instead of that, they're doubling up their names and getting paid, bogus names, getting paid salaries for those names that don't exist. Is this corruption that's killing us? Is this taking lack of responsibility? People in power, they're still doing the same thing that they've been doing since we had independence. So what do you expect? So we can sit here and discuss employment, agriculture, all that land that you're talking about. Irrigation water, Jahal Pachar. We can, the demand for Jahal Pachar is right here. Sam Sise, he spoke so much about that. That can feed the whole Gambia. Instead of bringing the Chinese, to come and fish, tell them to come and invest in them to come and put, irrigation across Baribu. Baribu need water. We can, do a lot of rice irrigation there and even farming or gardening. This irrigation water can tap into different places. Gambia has fresh water. Go to Amity, Makati, go to other places, that has fresh water. But there's no urgency in feeding ourselves. That's why we are importing. And then Makalo, you mentioned one thing. You have some chickens. I give you kudos to that. We shouldn't be buying chicken or lamb or cow. We have enough land to breed these things. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist. Nowadays, there are technologies. You can even hire people to there are technologies, there are things that you can do to make life easier and be able to breed this thing. But wait until Tobaski meets you in the Gambia. If you don't go to Senegal and get lamb, there's no place to find lamb. That's why the cost is going higher. Supply and demand. There's more demand than supplies. So if the Gambians are starting to tap into these things, I'm telling you, the price is gonna go down and people will be able to afford them. When I was growing up, we never buy any lamb in Baribu for Tobaski. We have lines of lambs. This year, next year, the following year. Sometimes we kill 2 lambs. But today, go to Baribu, when it's time to Tobaski, they had to go and look for lamb in Lumos and every place. You barely cannot find lamb. I was there last year or year before last. They wanted to Bunyami, they want to honor me or whatever, they went and looked for goat and lamb. They went 10 villages before they could find one. I had to be driving with them around. We are asking each of which village we go, is anybody selling lamb here or goat or any kind of meat that could be eating? There was none. I'm like, this is not when I was here. in my childhood days, but it was not like that. So what happened? Everybody went to Combo, like he was saying, thinking that that's where that's where the greener pasture is, and everybody's saturated there doing the same thing, walking around, holding a bag every morning. It's not even healthy. So I think all this thing is lack of planning. Let me tell you something. In order to have an established government, an established institution, you have to have people who are innovative, people who can create, who can have a vision and can be able to, visualize things and put resources together and get that done within a timeline. But that's not the kind of government we have. All we do is talking about each other, going to a rally, talking about what this, what education this person has, how many people are converting to this party, how many people are moving from MP and UDP to MPP or MPP to UDP or GDC to MPP. That's all we hear. No national, don't think. Even though we are not in the time of politics, we are not hearing anything substantial to the national development. And now here you go. We have elephant projects that are coming without no resources to support them. You build a school, there's no teacher. You build a hospital, there's no medicine. So I think we need to forget about these political things and focus on developmental agenda. If you are an oppositional party, don't just be opposition. Do something. Do something. Sponsor a club, sponsor a project. But you are government in waiting and you are not doing anything, and you expect people to know that you're gonna be different. How is that gonna happen? So everybody is liable to this. It's everybody's responsibility to step up the plate. So I think with all that, we can move somewhere. And again, I will say it again. Diasporans, you are watching. Does everybody take an opportunity to create jobs? You can do that. Even you pay somebody, you create something that can pay somebody 10,000, 5,000, 4,000. That is an employment. Let's go to farming. Let's go to animal husbandry. Let's go to, skilled jobs, masonry, carpentry, anything that could create development. And I think with collective responsibility, we can make it happen. Definitely, government create opportunities. They create loopholes for employment, but not all employments are centered around government. Yeah, private sector and individual citizens also have burden that have that burden. So I would end here, and we would like to hear from you guys a final thought, and we can close. Sam, you can come in, and then Mr.
Yeah,
look
you
at
know,
me. Yeah.
yeah, finally, really, just like I said, there's a good opportunity there in Gambia that we can do, that our country can do. But unfortunately, we did not start on a good foot. So I would encourage that the next government, when they come in, to really sit down and strategize and look at, talk to the people. I mean, there are some things that are no brainer anyway. If you're in Gambia, you know what the problems are. That's it. But get a group together, get the cabinet together, and do a research on all the problems that we have in the Gambia. Make a list of them, prioritize them, and handle them in order of priority. That way, we can move our country forward. Because the way we are now and the way we are going, if we don't do anything and we don't change anything, it can only get worse. And we don't want to get that worse, because our youths are just going to suffer. Our people are just going to suffer, and that's what's going to happen. So a lot of avenues to be created. Like I said before, I've always talked about this on my WhatsApp audios. Jaha Pachar is a great opportunity that can feed the whole country. I put a plan together, I put a proposal together, and I said it on WhatsApp audio so many times. I said it on Facebook video. I made a video about it. What can happen that Gambia can tap into Jaha Pachar and make it the best thing for Gambia? And a bag of rice can come down to below 1,000.
Mr. Sane.
So a lot of opportunities out there. But I want to wrap this up. I know we've been here for a while, so that we can take the time to our families now and enjoy the rest of our day. So, Mr. McCullough, back to you.
Okay,
Okay,
welcome.
thank you, Mr. Santos.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you
ahead,
so
go ahead.
much. Yeah. Just I want to add something. You see the vehicle that they bought for the National Assembly members. Those vehicles.
Yes. Yep.
It's very good for a National Assembly member to have a vehicle who is, have a big value. But that money that they put there, I don't think a country like Gambia, this is what we should prioritize.
Yep.
We have a lot of things to do. You see.
Yep, I spoke about that.
We have a lot of, my brother, if you want to talk about the gas, it's painful in the heart.
Yep.
I'm telling you, a country like Gambia, you see people here where a woman have about 5 years, even if you go to the hotel, buy ticket and sit there. You know, when the controller you go calling them, my brother. We need a big civilization in this country. We have a big job to do. Because even the government that we are talking about, the government is painful in the point whereby it will be very difficult for people that job. You see this new birth certificate, the biometric birth certificate they did.
I've not seen one yet.
In some countries, in some countries, those birth certificates go with the bank account. If that government stay for 10 years, that's how we meet his money there. And that money, your parents cannot take it. That bank is called citizen account. From Banco Ladingo, Nakodo Kelaji, Banque Central Bank, Banco Dingo. And that is ruled also by citizens who are there. So that money, you cannot take it, your father cannot take it. You take that money only when you are in the age whereby you have already your ID card, that is you are mature. Your father can collect your money when you pass away. Because you will use your death certificate. So if your child is born and then immediately like Jawara pass, Yajame pass, Adama Baro pass, that boy can buy a car for 400 euros. This is why you see Arab, they are very advanced than us. So if the government do any business in the country with Chinese sign contract, we don't see the money there. Bukai, itele kadomo. Itele kadomo de. Ikatak matra banko ye koda sanje, ye muso futu, ye depenso di manyo, ntobe mbako no mbena mo boka. Ekan na mo menjo kwa mo. Ila wala buken nafa. You will see, I'm telling you, road. Even local government borders. The road should be sweep. Nienta kam silo fita. Gambia iba boy. You will see in the Gambia, you will see that silo man senior. Local government DJ. Nienta kamo employee make sure ko silo ya kita. Haniba. So, I think that if you will have to have one, I'm telling you, we have to invite some authorities. You have to invite some authorities. Like now, next time the Minister of Agriculture, the governor expense, you see, and then you invite me or other people. You see, maybe 5, we sit on the panel like this. I think if you all are doing that, you have maybe influenced by anybody. If you you can join through the link. My brother, you hear things that security in the Gambia is a big problem. Gambia Musoleka only 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, Katanduga, Kataro, 2 o'clock, Alakodo Yabu Sala, Boba Yabu Sala. You think we don't know what is happening in this country? Everybody knows what is happening. We will talk here up to tomorrow. We cannot solve the problem.
Yeah.
Collectively.
That's why
we can do something
too. Yeah. Security is important.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Mr. Makalo, thank you. I think you have said something that definitely will go away with the takeaway. A woman,
see what we can do with
in the morning,
people who are genuine.
5 o'clock, and
we need genuine citizens. We need genuine citizens. According to what the monster you see, to with a bit of citizen because of this. You have first class, second class, third class. Bankodingo do BJ. Niya bankodingo dialong ka sala foria waf no manke bankoding kenu. Amake bankoding kenu tide. banko di wani abe pala alo tadame ni banko man lo abuka mo koma.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's very sad.
Ben
Mr.
ye kono
Makalo,
je do isa untale. Yeah.
it's very sad. Yeah.
Very sad la.
A woman waking up 5 o'clock, yeah, kudo busale yala. Bakasul busale attack silol count just because the country is not secure. That's what I'm saying.
Umfang na suo kono. Suo na taje kana sise suya. Because ya lon ko be potri ke kan ina ta suya. Ala le yende ma untale. Di mege 17 years sa untale peso. Odingo la wulula le o time on dingo bota suo kono ala wulula le. Afama le abama le. Odingo ni ya muka. Ni ya saba poliso. Ibatala ko odingo media afama ni fama penta. You see where my brother was talking, some say that the Lord don't have to compromise. But by force, the Badia Chopila. So you have a problem. Sensibilization, the major houses, come some was saying, major houses, the Bukela do cook. The Bukela do cook. People look, GSM. Is dead, themselves father. How can themselves die after is living? Masakuna yataka kwe momo ya lokuti mo Gambia di woti. Ilafta do ko masakuna. Inyataka themselves normally use by book or any businessman. Inyataka use. We have to value our own things.
Yep.
And the counter value.
Yeah. Very sad.
I used to discourage.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Makalo.
you,
You
thank
already did contribute a lot today. And Sam, I mean, this topic was so it was a lot, but we were able to really dig into it. I mean, like we are passionate citizens, and I thank our viewers. Our viewers also have been passionate following us and commenting. So we thank that. Omar, thanks for referring Mr. Makalo, Honorable Makalo, and for his great contribution. Sam, as usual, you are
Thank you.
a patriotic citizen. Coming here, you, Madam Boj, and everybody, Pamara, and everyone who contributed to this. We are all here for Gambia. So I hope, our government can listen to this, concerned citizens, and then we take action. It's all about taking action. We can talk here the whole day. If you don't take action, people who need to take action, we should. And as collective citizens, like I said, we also have a burden to carry, and we need to take action. So, Honorable Makalo, keep up the good work. And then, keep taking actions, and then again, use those skills,
I want to say something to him though, since
Yeah.
is he? Are you a National Assembly member though?
No, he's a GDC. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I remember that from the beginning. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Well,
I'm GDG.
Oh, okay. I thought you were a National Assembly member too as well. So, but that's fine.
That would be good, man. I mean,
Yeah,
with
I
That
all
thought-
would
the
be good
skills-
to have one,
yeah, with the way he's talking.
Yeah, we have to invite them on board.
Yeah, we need to, and challenge them. Yeah, that's what we need to do. But thank you, Makalo. You've done a great job. So thank you for your contribution.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you very much. And
The pleasure,
we
the
should
pleasure.
have very many
Pleasure's mine.
people like you that are there to fight for our country. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jazakallah.
All right, Sam.
Marhaba.
Thank you
See you all
guys.
later.
Have a
Yes,
good
okay.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll catch
Okay, baraka.
Baraka.